We just had a really big day in the world of Pixar and animation, as well as the larger entertainment space, which in turn will surely have a great impact on the animation studio. So I thought, what better than to make a news roundup going over everything surrounding the worlds of Pixar and what's on the horizon. This is a type of video I did occasionally last year, and I'd like to bring it back now. I've been on a video making hiatus, but one thing I would be remiss to ignore is the 40th anniversary of Pixar Animation Studios. It was founded in 1986 by Ed Catmull and Alvy Ray Smith, and all these years later they've continued to push the boundaries of animation capabilities and have brought so many amazing stories to life. Pixar's social media did a pretty good job at showing off moments of the company history, as well as highlighting a lot of their projects and their underlying themes. In regards to the 40th, I think the most interesting piece of information that pertains to this channel is an interview that Pete Docter had with BAFTA, which I'll get into in a little bit here. Unfortunately for Pixar in this case, this anniversary was largely overshadowed by the company it's a part of, as the Walt Disney Company announced its newest CEO, Josh D'Amaro, and he'll be stepping into this role in just a month, a very quick turnaround from what many were expecting. Dana Walden will also be stepping into the role of President and Chief Creative Officer of the Walt Disney Company, with both roles surely to have an impact on, obviously, the day-to-day at Disney, but time will also tell how they plan on changing things up concerning a branch of the company like Pixar. D'Amaro will be the 4th CEO at Disney in Pixar's lifetime and working relationship with the studio. 5 if you want to count Bob Iger's second tenure as a different person, I guess. I think it's apparent how some cared about the Pixar brands less than others. And since these movies take half a decade to make, we probably won't see anything too drastic right away. For now, it'll come down to interviews and what they have to say about what's on the horizon. I think it is interesting to note that Bob Iger made it pretty clear in his return to Disney in 2022 that IP and sequels would be something he'd oversee. And animation-wise, this is what we saw and what we're currently seeing. Pixar already has 3 confirmed sequels, and I'm sure 1 or 2 in early development. It's hard to say if Walden and D'Amaro will want to keep this momentum because the experiences are making so much money. And if you've seen these new billion-dollar cruise ship ventures, Disney is still massively reliant on the Pixar brands. We find ourselves at this crossroads time and time again that the studio is needing to prove that there is still money in original animation. And while early forecasting does look strong for Hopper so far, it can hopefully only grow from that point. This new team in charge of Disney will surely have a Pixar win on their hands come this summer when Toy Story 5 makes its way into theaters. And shortly after, we'll see what big changes they'll make for the company proper at D23 most likely. On the experiences side though, this is Josh D'Amaro's bread and butter, and this company is already putting billions into their parks worldwide, with Pixar properties like Cars, Monsters Inc., and Coco already being a big part of their playbook. For now, I am optimistic for what this leadership team has to bring to the table, and I hope that they do see the value in the now 40-year-old company. In other news, we are just a few days away from a big nationwide event here in the United States with the Super Bowl, surely to be among the most televised events in US history. With this, we always get movie trailers and clips, and there are some reports that Hoppers and Toy Story 5 will both receive a TV spot. Right now, the cost of a 30-second Super Bowl ad is upwards of $10 million. Disney usually buys spots in the pregame, which is a lot less expensive. Either way, I do not think Hoppers is going to show up here despite reports. That being because I feel like we always get reports of Pixar originals having Super Bowl spots, Elemental and Elio most recently, and it never happens. Quite frankly, it's just too much of their marketing budget. While Hopper's release is a lot closer than the other ones were, I'm seeing it later this month technically, that doesn't make up for the fact that it's a lot of its marketing budget being used in just one move. I do think Toy Story 5 has a really good chance of actually being here though, because Toy Story 4 had one. It's a big brand already, and Disney's able to spend so much more for something like this because it's already going to make so much money in the ancillary markets. I'm hoping it can cover whatever releases, and who knows, maybe both will get something. They could have a Tom-centric ad for Hoppers, but for all of this, we just have to stay tuned for later this week. Returning to the Pete Docter interviews mentioned earlier, one headline I've seen making the rounds is Docter saying he's currently in production on 8 films, leading to speculation as to what this may be, any sequels or mostly originals. This presumably doesn't include Hoppers, which is completed as they've already shown it in its entirety. So from what we know, Toy Story 5, Gato, Incredibles 3, and Coco 2. I've seen rumors that 2028 will feature a new original alongside Incredibles 3. Hopefully 2028 does have two releases though, or else that 15-month gap between Gato and the next June will be felt. I would hope that if there are 4 unannounced besides those listed, that we would get a few more original ideas in there. Don't get me wrong, I love sequels as well. We can just get the best of both worlds here. And if there are 1 or 2 additional sequels, I'm assuming it's Inside Out 3 and Monsters Inc. 2, I guess 3, the next Monsters Inc. movie. We did also get a little update on next year's original though, as Doctor talked a little bit about Gato, calling to attention the art style yet again, specifically stating it isn't photorealistic like what we've come to expect from Pixar. We keep hearing about this painterly art style. It's supposed to look hand-painted to match the ambiance of Venice in a way. I am still really eager to see what this does look like, if it'll be not only different from Pixar's other art styles, but also different from what the rest of the animation world seems to be attempting to capture these days. With Hopper's marketing really ramping up, it's around this time we can expect to see a lot more projects to be discussed, probably some new things we haven't heard of yet with different directors at the helm, and I'm sure to cover them as we hear about them. There was a lot of business talk and forward looking at Pixar and their new placement in the greater Walt Disney Company in this video. Please let me know what you think down below. What do you think about Disney's new leadership, and what do you think about what Pixar has coming up, and what are your favorite moments from their 40-year tenure? Please subscribe if you'd like to see any more. I plan on covering way more Pixar, including news and breakdowns of films from the past. Thank you for watching as always, everyone. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Goodbye.